Hello and welcome to Psyched, the show where we explore psychedelics through social, economic, and political perspectives.
What started out as an altruistic project to bring a sacred, safe setting to the use of magic, psilocybin truffles became quite a busy business. With hundreds of clients from all over the world, we soon started our own center. Here, the experience and skill set grew to create a center for the psychological guidance of psychedelics. We are creating a format and the science to operate safely, responsibly, and with shared value system we share through international collaborations. A common customer complaint: medical and mental health screening and professional integration therapists. We currently work on multiple plant medicine projects globally and receive daily requests from scientists and professionals from all over the world if and how they can help. Luc, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Psych.
Hi, everyone. Can people hear me? I trust that you can hear me. I think my mic is on. Hi, everyone.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, cool. I'd like to start off with a little presentation of the background of where we started and where we are right now. And then, ask some questions about client safety. So here we go. I'll try and share my desktop. Okay, so my name is Luc. I run the organization called Psychedelic Insights together with Ellen Van Proelje, who is our lead facilitator and science lead. Together, we've done most of the guiding of all our clients, and here she is. And she does the facilitating, the leads, the science lead, and the head of guides. Our guides are a unique tribe of academics, psychologists, cognitive neurologists, people who studied spiritual care, public health, and each of them has had extensive personal experience with psychedelics. And some have actually participated in studying aspects of psilocybin. Santiago, he is our tech sheriff, which comes down to the marketing and the sales systems, connecting all the different systems, doing the design and the website. As to communicate and reach out with our information, for clients. Myself, I'm the founder, and I do a lot of the talking and facilitation. But our guides are Amy, Alan, and Louisa. Niels does positive psychology. Liska is a cognitive scientist, Elsa and Sebastian. So how do we define what we do? We provide psychological guidance for psychedelic experiences. And this is what we've been doing in a format that is a one-day session. So people come in the morning and they leave in the early evening. And there's a whole client journey around that moment, before and after the session, obviously. And how does that look? Yes, most people do a lot of research before they even come into contact with, organizations like ours. And this mostly results in in an introduction call with myself or with Ellen or one of the other guides. And here we mostly invite people to share their story and why they are knocking on our door, and how they think we can help them. And we are in return explain what it is that we do, how the procedures and the protocols work, and we already sent them a lot of documents about what integration therapy is, about intention setting. Obviously, we have a lot of conversations about that. That's the main route during going into your session. And if people are on any type of medication, yeah, then there is a choice to be made. We have seen around 250 clients in mostly private or small group sessions. And what we see, obviously, and I guess everyone realizes, that this market, it is not hard to reach the market, it's hard to manage the market. So if we chose to always take client safety first, and it's not up to me or to any other person who is obviously not qualified to determine, you know, which medication can pose a problem and which medication can't. For this, we encourage clients to come up with a certificate from their own medical doctor, and we are also collaborating with a medical doctor, a psychiatrist who is very experienced with plant medicines, to do medical and mental health screenings. Then there's the process of the intention setting, and this can be different for everyone. It's mostly a very personal thing, but a lot of people come with anxiety or depressive thought patterns that they would like to break, and then yeah, we built the story around that together with the client, and that is continued in the post-session integration, obviously. The preparation and the psychedelic session that takes place at our location, we generally speak around 2 hours, going over the intention setting, going over the expectations, explaining how people navigate the psychedelic, and what they should do if they encounter a little rough patch or go into a mind loop. And so we are there to reach out, and we also proactively check in. And almost all of the times there are male guides and female guides, and people with a classic academic degree, and people that don't. And for this, we do that because we'd like to bridge the gap between those two worlds, and to have the client better understood and feel better heard. And this is all contributing to the set and the setting of the client. The sessions generally last around 6 hours, after which, yeah, there's, you know, room for evaluation, but mostly people are just coming down, and a lot of times they're just in silence contemplating their very new and intense experience. So when this is concluded, and we always request feedback, and to always keep our processes fine-tuned, and because this is all uncharted territory by everyone, and we can only do one thing, and that is to be open and to learn. And yeah, we did learn a lot, but we're also realizing, you know, how important and fragile and sacred this work is. So after the psychedelic session, and people are back home in their own situation, there's contact for the integration therapy, and the objectives are there defined. So this can be, if you're an anxious public speaker, for instance, that you have little adventures outside your comfort zone, that you learn to be more compassionate instead of being in the blame, shame, guilt trap. So yeah, it's about experimenting, trying new things, getting positive feedback on those, and literally growing those new neurons that you've gotten, during your psychedelic insight. That must be strengthened. And it's easy to fall back into the patterns because those are very strong patterns. But it's all about being compassionate, and this is a whole framing done by our psychologists who do the actual integration therapy. So in this journey, there's a lot of data that can be collected, which we use for our own protocols to always improve those. And we have all those guides with the academic degree, plus 40 plus scientists, volunteers who want to work on these things. And again, with psychedelics being in such a spotlight, we have a hard time managing all the enthusiasm. And ultimately, when a client goes through the integration, yes, most of the times people do have a profound change in how they feel. Sometimes people come for anxiety, and afterwards the anxiety still exists, but people share that they don't, that they can still breathe and they can still function, and it's not so hampering them their normal day-to-day business. And sometimes changes are more dramatic, and the feedback that we get is really like super humbling. Of course, you cannot take it personally because it's mostly very positive. Looking at what's common and what's legal when you talk about antidepressants and all kinds of other medications. Psychedelics are mostly seen as a one-stop shop. Well, they are not. We believe that it would be very beneficial to have multiple over years or even months, depending on your own state and desires. But immediately after sessions, most clients don't feel the need for another sessions because they have a lot to process. So this is more what our core business is, and next I'm going to explain a little bit about the services that we are trying to build around this core business to operate more safely. So first, we have our core business, that is client sessions. We're also building or working on a golden standard for our own center, but also to make it a turnkey center format for others, just so others don't have to reinvent the wheel, remake mistakes, and we can try and mature as fast as we can to do these things. And we are collaborating with a lot of organizations to try and get this off the ground. We do the medical and mental health screening in collaboration with a psychiatrist. So for this, we set up a website called psychedelic-psychiatry.com, where people can book a consultation to go over their medication and to fill out an intake and do a consultation based on that. What we also offer is more of a target audience specific professional training program that is for people that have done the psychedelic assisted therapy training, but has never had an actual psychedelic experience. So this is really what we want to open up to. So we have a program of a week where therapists or medical doctors can come, or psychologists, and they undergo 2 sessions where they are guided, and they do 2 sessions where they're supervised, where they're doing the guiding, and the entire week just revolves around the experience, around that experience, and around what comes up, and it's one big integration week for everyone involved. So it's not about the theory. The theory will come up, and there will be guiding by professional psychologists and our team to frame it really professionally and scientifically. But obviously, it's going to be an emotional journey, and you're going to bond and learn a lot from other people's experiences. And we believe that this wave of psychedelics is coming, even to your countries, and we need to train the professionals. Here in Holland, we used to have legal mushrooms. Ayahuasca used to be legal, but only through little incidents did they get banned. So the field is fragile everywhere we go. Last but not least, we offer the integration therapy after program, which also will be a separate website where people can make consultations with a psychologist to get professional integration therapy and aftercare program. So this means that from the medical mental health screening to the post-session integration therapy, we are involved with the entire client journey, and we can learn from every aspect of that. That also means that there's a lot of challenges ahead. Practical, legal, technical, technological, and we are trying to navigate that. Who are the people that are visiting our centers here in Amsterdam? Well, over 99% of our clients, they come from all over the world, and most of them, I guess, come from the US, Canada, UK, Germany, Sweden, and Australia. And so what else do? We also work with organizations who send us their clients. Some of them are veteran organizations. And for them, we also develop specific protocols. For instance, when we're working with veterans, and it helps that I myself am a veteran, and I can offer professional therapists who are also veterans as guides, who are also plant medicine experienced. So we can make the bed, and we would welcome them in when travel is allowed again. And for these special groups, we are very fortunate enough to have the team to really develop scientific protocols. What we also do is we work with everything we do. We work towards a quality and safe, complete, turnkey psychedelic center format. What does that mean? It means that we want to ultimately learn as much as we can, work with the best, and make that something that you can use to operate another center. So there's quality, there's all the skills are set up to get clients, but especially to train the staff, and also have it supervised, and have medical screenings available, and integration. Along this vision, we have a deal with Roadman. Upon the legalization in California, for whatever that is, we will roll out centers based on our IP. The online medical and mental health screening is something that we want to set up for ourselves, which we have, but we also want to scale it up. Why? Because I think it's one of the most important things that hasn't matured along with the enthusiasm, or the commercialization of all these substances. Because there's a lot of people taking a lot of different types of medication. A lot of people have a mental health history, and after having seen so many clients, having so many sessions with so many backgrounds and so many stories, we felt compelled that it's no longer responsible to leave it with the client to tick a box that says they consulted a medical doctor and they're physically and emotionally safe. And a lot of times, one or two times, people have confided in us 3/4 down the session that they were on medication, and then we can actually notice it when something is there as well. So in Spain now there's a court case going on for a person that had a heart attack after smoking DMT. Yes, this was also a very enthusiastic person who offered this, who claimed the medical benefit, and someone's out there. Yeah, it's not enough for people like me or others to be enthusiastic about psychedelics and to promote it in a way that it can cure things. It makes a connection because it's a neurotransmitter, and this connection is really, metaphysically to your heart, I think. And in that sense, protecting people from themselves and their medication is very important, because what happens if there's a person that going on a retreat somewhere and they get a stroke? Then you would need a structure in place so it's not hijacked by politicians and journalists and we're being thrown back into the 70s. Or centers have to close. I think it's more sacred, and we're trying to build a structure around it. Another thing we do is we provide the 5-day experience training program for therapists and medical doctors. And I think we need to train the professionals. So for this, we are seeking a lot of contact with the institutes that are actually training the theoretical part, and we would love to collaborate with them. Because we are also developing these protocols and working with very, very, very experienced psychologists in the plant medicine realm. And last but not least, the integration service will be also a separate platform. Now we do it just via calls, but we want to do it via a more modern platform, obviously run by psychologists. To give professional integration therapy, because this is really a part of the whole transformational process, that you have an integration, preferably with a knowledgeable person that can have all the tools, and to make sure that you don't become skeptical, that you stay positive, that you keep on track, that can support you in your process. This is a picture to break the boredom of the texts. It is of our of the experience training. All the clients that we work with, they are all free to collaborate with the research at the Imperial College in London, where they have surveys for anyone that goes on a retreat, and the journey already starts before the retreat, so they can also contribute to the research. And building all these different ecosystem services around our core business. These services, like a medical service, they automatically you need it to be more or less independent. And for this, I'm also looking for a medical board to supervise the screenings and examine incidents. So we are currently engaged with several organizations. First of all, to define several a set of values and ethics to collaborate on. And under this umbrella, we want to provide access to the medical screening to other retreat organizations. And if incidents happen, then they have a credible selection of medical professionals that can provide opinions and can see what has happened and what has been said and disclosed as well. Because we don't only need to safeguard clients, we also need to safeguard medical professionals from doing their work and trying to protect their patients. And I think we also need to protect our organizations and the entire field that we are working in from these incidents. If you do not have a credible voice that can offer a valid analysis of whatever happened. So when that exists, we also want to set up a common complaint procedure for centers. And also, that should also be overseen by this medical board. And it can also be non-medical professionals, obviously. But I would think that would strengthen the organizations that participate and make more robust the third wave of psychedelics that we are currently eager to see happening. So a question: what happens when a client at a retreat center suffers a serious medical condition? This is the case that I wanted to answer, and how to prevent it. So this is something to think about. It's something that we are working hard at to structure. And if anyone out there has any ideas, would love to help, please get in touch. That was where we are at Psychedelic Insights. And I would love to get some questions if you have. I would be eager to answer.
Well, the main question right now is if they can get contact information about the program. So if you want to type that into the chat, Luc, that would be great, and can give...
which program is that? The training, or?
Let's see. Lee Ann asked this.
Okay.
So maybe she can comment. If not, she can connect with you afterwards as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I guess I'd love for you to just, share a little bit of your thoughts on as we continue forward over this next decade, and we see more kind of retreat centers and different types of therapeutic modalities being practiced in a whole variety of settings. What do you feel like is really needed to ensure that people are being kept safe all across the board? Is that some sort of stamp of approval by some sort of centralized agency? Is that some sort of coalition or union of practitioners? What do we need to, I guess, standardize that care across the board for, I guess, less formal or at least clinically focused types of care delivery?
Yeah, that's the question. We have dealt with this question also in the Guild of Guides here in the Netherlands, with Daan Keijman is leading that initiative, which is really, really great. What struck me, talking to all these different other operators here in the Netherlands, is that everyone does have their own specific signature in how they operate. And I think that's a positive thing. And I think that people should be able to choose if you have a more clinical, psychiatric, or shamanic type experience. It's not for me to judge. The only thing that I am concerned about is client safety, and also the freedom to operate like this. I think those are the two victims that we have to protect. I think the potential victims. Mm-hmm. So how do you create client safety? I think it's good to have someone present that has gone through the entire personal development with plant medicines, to be able to relate and to understand that there is a very abstract way of navigating this space and trying to make sense of what happened. But not everyone, I think, is ready to do this. At the same time, not every psychologist is ready to do this. But we're, for instance, working with a group that have both They all have their personal development with plant medicines and their own personal experiences, and they're also academics. So we are trying to bridge these worlds and get those two different types of operating with a different vocabularies and a different set of skills at the same quote unquote bed, you know, during the session, because it helps the client be better understood and feel more at ease. You know, before the session, I think, you know, a lot of people would, you know, want a psychologist there, you know, but after the session, you know that may not be necessary. You know, it's just some sort of a logic of something you don't understand yet. But regardless, we need it to keep the client safe, and I think there's no wrong or right as long as that is the case. And and we have freedom to operate like that. And I mean, I've also talked to other retreat owners a lot, and there are incidents, you know, when you're sitting, you know, around a campfire, for instance, you can just imagine what can happen, you know. So and it's not that. Yeah, I think client safety is also physical safety. It's a lot of precautions. You know, it's setting the thing up for what are you going to do with the client, in what setting, and what phase, and in what phase during the trip are you going to expose him to what. You know, so there's a lot of medical, emotional, and physical elements to this topic. So
definitely. And just to close out really quickly, Leanne responded, the program for practitioners. She's an ND.
Yeah. That is psychedelic-psychology.com. And there's another one that is operating, that is OLP Therapeutics. I can recommend them as well. And we are both engaged to align our protocols and to raise the bar and work towards this golden standard. So, and they are also involved in this value and ethics initiative across retreats, you know. So, yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Luc, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, you as well. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
all.